Taxi vlog 233. Thank your deity of your choice. It's Tuesday. I'm trying to get my words together here. I just got in the cab. The damn thing was running when I got there. Does that mean there's going to be trouble starting it up if I turn it off? Well, I'm going to leave it on all night. I don't much care. I don't believe I left it on in the morning. As I recall, I turned everything off. But the engine was on, and there was exhaust coming out of the exhaust pipe as I pulled up behind it. Fortunately, these things usually just run on electricity, and the batteries keep it going while it's sitting there. They don't idle. These cars don't idle. The engines only come on when the batteries get low, and the fuel gauge still shows full, so that's good. Now I just went to this place called Backfit. I've probably mentioned it before. It's where I have my chiropractor, and there are machines to work out on, and there are spinal decompression tables, and so I go for a lumbar decompression, which is the lower back, once a week, and once a month I go for a cervical decompression, which is the neck, where they stretch my neck. Well, I don't have much of a neck, so there's not that much to stretch. As one of my therapists says, it's a part of our Slavic heritage to not have a neck. So, maybe that's why it's only once a month that I require that. But I went in, had my lumbar decompression, and it was very relaxing. I dozed off while it was being done. They give you, I think, 20 seconds of a higher pull, and I think 10 seconds of a weaker pull in between. And the idea is that it causes the discs between the vertebrae to flex, or not really flex, to expand and contract. And in so expanding and contracting, it causes the flow of blood and nutrients to go into the discs and revitalize them and make them improve their health. As far as I can tell, it works. Excuse me, I had leftover Mexican food. Cindy's not feeling well. She's sleeping, and she left me a note to let her sleep instead of waking her up, which is so what I did. I put the Mexican food in the microwave and ate it. You don't really want to hear about that shit, do you? What you really want to hear about is how my week went, don't you? Well, I did say thank the deity of your choice. It's Tuesday for a reason. Tuesday is my last night of the week that I work. Have Wednesday and Thursday off. Wednesday night and Thursday night. I came to work on Wednesday. No, it was Friday. It was Friday. After my 2 days off, I came to work on Friday, and there were gaps in between calls. And there were announcements on the MDT here that that we had Christmas parties and a lot of chits to pay for the Christmas party, and if you get a chit from another taxi company, we don't honor them. So I didn't have to worry about that because I didn't get dispatched to any Christmas parties. But there were gaps in between calls, and I was getting a lot of short trips and being sent long distances to go get them. So my Friday was not at all stellar. In fact, it was a big disappointment. I only just doubled my lease, which for a Friday is not good. Didn't have trouble from anyone. It was just very frustrating being out here. Then of course it died in the morning. At 3 o'clock it went really quiet, and between 3 and 6 I think I had 3 or 4 fares. And so I went home with meager earnings. The only thing that came out of it was that I was owed $100 of Interac before I started my shift, and at the end of my shift I was only owed $50, so I was able to get some cash out. So it didn't seem like I made as little money as I did because I got some cash out from the week before. And as you may recall, that was a good week. I did quite well. In fact, that was my best week since the week before Halloween, the weekend before Halloween in the end of October. It's the last time I had it so good. Saturday night I came out at 8, and I didn't have my first call until about 9:15. My next call was almost 10 o'clock. It took me till 1 o'clock to get my lease on. 5 hours. And then I got stuck in the Western Communities where you have to go a long distance to pick up your customer. And so I was at the pub, and there were this girl was trying to get her drunk friend loaded into my cab, and the drunk friend was in here, and she mumbled to me an address, and I said, so I have to look that up. She said, I'll show you, and I didn't trust her because I thought she was going to fall asleep. So I had to look up the address, and as I was looking up the address, the other chick who wasn't quite as drunk was talking to me, and I can't concentrate on the map book while you're talking to me. And then the one who was sitting in here looked like she was getting nauseous, and she said, I have to get out. I said, yes, get out. Just get out. I didn't want to get her halfway home and have her puke all over the interior of my car. And I just left. I didn't want to be in front of that pub anymore. I don't like the pub scene. I don't like people who drink too much too fast. And so I went. And suddenly got a call as soon as I drove like 2 blocks from there. Immediately I answered it. And the address was on an obscure street called Falcon Heights. Now I had no idea where Falcon Heights was. I had never seen it nor heard of it. So I looked it up. Falcon Heights was at the top of this mountain, about as far up Finlayson Arm Road as you can get to being, while still being accessible by road. And there were 2 choices of which way to go. So I took the one that had the most highway and the least windy, twisty road to get there. And the call was 15 minutes old when I got it, and I think I got there 10 minutes later. And when I was on the street, my phone was getting no service. But I pulled up the driveway which went up the hill, and my phone was getting service again when I was at the top of the hill. So I called the number, and she answered and came out. And when you're up there, the end of Finlayson Arm Road, chances are you're going far. Well, I went about as near as I could go, which was about a $25 fare. But I dropped her off, and then I had a couple more calls in the western communities, and then I rushed back into town, and then I think it was almost 3 o'clock, and I didn't even have double my lease on. Very disappointing. Then I sat at my usual place where I wait for calls, because I wasn't going to go downtown at 3 o'clock and deal with the total morons who drink too much too fast down there. So I waited, and another car came up beside me, and he said, "So how you doing?" And I said, "It's terrible. I don't have double my lease on." And he says, "Well, I got $600. You shouldn't do calls, you should just flag." I don't like flagging. I would rather do calls. I get a better class of clientele when I do calls than when I flag. If I have 1 or 2 flags during my entire night, it's going to be my 1 or 2 worst customers of the night. Do I want to deal with that? No. Anyway, he was bragging about making almost 600, or having 600 on, and maybe he had, maybe he didn't. But that was double what I had, or more than double what I had. Well, between 3 and 6 I made another $100, which was quite miraculous, because usually, or very often, between 3 and 6 on a Sunday morning like that, nothing happens. I still made $100, which didn't quite make up for the lack of business before 10:30, where you wait an hour and a half when you first come out. I should book on, seeing as I am in my favorite zone already. And it is 7:58. I'm going to turn this screen off because I find it distracting. Sunday night Mexican food. Sunday night I came out, and it was quiet. And I think I had 3 or 4 fares before midnight. And then somehow it reached a flow, and I was able to flow it to the point where I took almost $100 home in the morning. And I was very thankful to the deity of your choice, because I'm an agnostic. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what the truth is, but I believe in truth. And since I don't know what it is, I say the deity of your choice. That is, if you believe in a deity. But now we're getting into theological, philosophical questions, which... This is a taxi vlog, for crying out loud. Why should I go there? Okay. A Sunday night. I did alright. Now, Tuesday is very often, or Monday, sorry, is usually better than Sunday. But between 7:30, yes, I made an effort and came out early. Between 7:30 and about 1/4 midnight, I had 3 fares. All 3 under $10. One of them was generous enough to tip me to the point where it was $10. So here I am, 4 hours into my shift, with about $35 on, going, this don't look good. Then I got sent to the Monkey Tree. The Monkey Tree is a pub noted for having waitresses that are appealing. We should go for dinner there sometime. But Cindy gets a little, well, I wouldn't say jealous, but she sort of kind of takes a bit of offense when she sees my eyes bug out. Although she hasn't taken offense in a while. I think she's become more secure that I love her. And I do. I wouldn't leave this woman because I get along better with her, or she gets along better with me than I have gotten along with any other woman that I have ever met. So why would I give that up? Why would I leave? I like it. I love her. So if you're watching or listening, Cindy, which you're probably not, because you don't like these things because they are so negative, love you. Okay, enough of that mushy shit. We were on Monday night at the Monkey Tree. I picked up the fare I was supposed to get. I think the name was Dina or something like that. Middle-aged couple, pissed to the gills. And they went let's say 2 short blocks. $4.20 on the meter. I got 5. But I realized that, hey, you know, that was the one Christmas party that I got sent to. And I figured, well, even though I don't really believe in Christmas, being an agnostic, even though I really don't care about the alleged birthday of a fictional character, because Jesus probably was a fictional character, being that there is no proof of his existence. I mean, I might as well believe in Lazarus Long Smith, a Robert A. Heinlein character, as I would Jesus of Nazareth. See, that Christmas that I don't believe in even creeps into my consciousness. But this is getting boring, isn't it? Okay, I took those people. What the fuck? It's a call. I didn't adjust my settings when I got in the car. I might as well do that now. Oh, nothing more annoying than beeping things. Gotta turn that frequency right up there so that only a puppy can hear it. There, that's good. Got me by surprise, the son of a bitch. That's what happened when he left the engine running. He got me by surprise, so it threw me off of my routine. And David in back parking lot. Okay. I will go there. I will get David in back parking lot. This is better than last night. Last night it took almost an hour till I got my first call. Actually, it did take over an hour. Now I've been, well, what is it, 5 minutes since I booked on? Good. I went back to the pub and picked up another fare. This one for $20. And then the next hour and a half, I made up enough to just get my lease on. I had a couple more calls. Both of them canceled as I was arriving there. How disheartening is that? And at 4 o'clock, or was it, yeah, just around 4, quarter to 4, I got this one call to a hotel, and there were these 2 young people sitting at the curb. And the guy was kind of the type that talks big to impress his chick, or big to impress his hoe, or girl, or whatever. Didn't like his attitude. But his Interac cleared for $26.30, no tip. So I was thankful for that. I think I had one more short fare after that. Took home a grand total of $25. My fuel bill was $4.50 for the whole night. Anyway, it looks like this might be a better one than last night, so hope yours is better than mine. And thanks, good night. So I'm cruising back into town after dropping off in the western communities, and it works out that I had a pretty good night. I did well. I've got enough money on to take Cindy out to dinner and maybe to buy a couple 6-packs of beer and to do a month's worth of laundry and still have a little bit of money left over. So it turned out okay. I was a little scared after last night's fiasco, but tonight I did okay. My week wasn't a total scrub.